arrival,
Yes.
we will all stand, because immediately after her arrival, we won't be taking up a lot more time.
Yes.
We'll be going straight into our program.
All right, may we, ladies and gentlemen, stand and receive our chief guest.
Technical team will wait a little bit on the anthems. We'll
Yes.
be able to get them
Anthems,
immediately
please hold.
after.
Anthems,
Hold
please
the
hold.
anthems, please. Hold the anthems.
Yes. Immediately after we receive
Ladies
our
and
chief guest.
gentlemen, to our chief guest,
Yes.
the First Lady of Uganda, the Minister of Education, and she will definitely be taking this on, and a very strong advocate of play in education.
Yes, indeed, and ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest has arrived, and we will gracefully welcome her, and I will request that at the opposite time we will receive her, so she ensures and she knows that we're actually here, and we are excited to receive her. May we
Ladies and
welcome our
gentlemen,
chief
let's
guest.
welcome, big round of applause, welcome our First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports, who has given us our time of a very busy schedule to come and be with us.
Mama, we welcome you. We thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome to this the National Play Day. We thank you and the ministry.
Thank you for dedicating your time to
Yes.
the children of Uganda.
Yes.
Thank you for dedicating your time to the next generation, because the children today are the next generation. Look at how
Our prayer leaders can make their way to the front, and I'll ask Mildred to read them as we prepare for the anthems and, of course, the prayers. So please do remain standing. We'll have the Uganda anthem and the East African anthem very shortly. But
and with gray hair. He creates what he wills, and he is the all-knowing and all-powerful. In another verse, Allah says, Allahu ja'ala lakum min anfusikum azwajan wa ja'ala lakum min azwajikum banina afabil batil yu'minuna wa bi ni'matillahi hum yakfurun. He says, your spouses, he has given you children and grandchildren, and he has granted you good and becoming ungrateful for Allah's favors. Oh Allah, we have come before you today who have given us. Oh Allah, continue blessing them so that they can walk the path of righteousness, their strength. At their darkest, you are their light. At their saddest, watch over them and grant them peace and guide their hearts and minds towards positive thinking. We pray that you may
in your ministry with your apostles and we, your followers, you've ever educated humanity. We thank you for the day of today. Through the leader, may the whole nation be part of this to appreciate that play is just not a thing, but very important in the growth and development of our children. Thank you to our parents, and may you bless all.
Thank you very much to our religious leaders. We may now get seated. We heard Sister Millie Rose Biloya, who is the Secretary for Education, representing the Uganda Catholic Secretariat, the Uganda Episcopal Conference, Vakit Chuchu, who is the Secretary for Education, representing the Mufti of Uganda, the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. Thank you very much.
Our First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports for finding time to join us. Please appreciate our First Lady. Give her a warm hand clap and welcome
Big round
her
of applause to her.
to this very first national, actually pray and play. And I like the part that we need to make sure that they play and pray. And I'm glad that we started with prayer. Mama, we are saying let Uganda's children play, and we want to appreciate all the support. And this national play international, and also with the support of the Lego Foundation and other partners that we will be mentioning throughout the day. Mama, I wanted to recognize some of our key stakeholders who are here, to recognize our key stakeholders, our partners on this National Play Day. UNICEF. May I, in a very special way, welcome the UNICEF country representative, Dr. Monil Sir. Plan International, please stand for recognition. The Lego Foundation, and I want to request the Lego Foundation team to stand for recognition. Education cannot wait. Please stand. I want to request the Education Cannot Wait Foundation team, please stand. Are we here? And all the in Uganda, we want to thank you for joining us. Please stand for recognition. All the UN agencies that are here. Mama, before I continue, there is a special category. The reason we are here, the children. We have our principal education officers, and we want to appreciate.
We have some play activities going on. And these play hubs, like the permanent secretary said, they're not just about, it's looking at how do you know that your child is learning through play. That is Play Hub 2. We have another hub which is talking about community and parent engagement in play, which is very, very key. We also have a research on evidence cognitive abilities and social abilities of a child, and many more other play hubs, Mama, which are here right behind and much. And this is a very important activity, just like the permanent secretary did mention, how important play is a cornerstone to early childhood development. Plan International.
Your Excellency, I want to recognize representatives of Mama Janet. You will allow me to call you Your Excellency. I find that more comfortable for me as I continue to deliver my speech. Your Excellency, I want to start by speaking through the Learn Through Play methodology, and that is the reason why I stand here today. I want to start by recognizing that play is one of the most transformative forces in a child's life. And you will be seeing a snapshot of that right here today. We note that it's the most powerful way for learning and development of our children, as well as their entire body, as we have heard from our permanent secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports. We acknowledge that through play, children have a safe space to explore the world. In these spaces, they can interact with the adults that they have in these spaces, and we are able to work with them to develop their cognitive skills, their emotional skills, as well as their own physical development. They learn to solve problems through very simplistic ways. We have seen through the play hubs materials that have been made using local materials that we think are sustainable as well as low cost. They are able to recover particularly from trauma for those that have been running from conflict situations. We know that in Uganda we host over 1.6 million refugees or persons of concern, and those come with children and many women. And in these spaces, our children can recover from trauma as well as build their own personal confidence and agency. And us as adults have a great responsibility and power to provide these children with an opportunity to play. And today, we have an opportunity to see that. Particularly those of us that have been here from the beginning, we have had an opportunity to go through the play hubs. But also today, we are coming together particularly to explore how we can create playful learning experiences for our children. And I think we've had an opportunity, and our directors of ceremonies have done a fantastic job of making sure we understand the importance of learning through play. In Uganda, we already see the change that play is bringing, recognizing that actually we may be the first country globally to have a national play day following the declaration of the play day by the United Nations. So we appreciate Your Excellency Mama Janet that you are here today. You have graced this occasion, and we think you have given it the traction it deserves. You have given it the importance it deserves. If you had not been here, perhaps it would have been different. And so on behalf of all of us, the organizers, please accept a vote of appreciation for making time to be here with us today. Thank you so much. I will also continue by saying that through this process, we have engaged our mothers, we have engaged our fathers, we acknowledge that we have caregivers as well, because we have orphaned children. In our African context, a child belongs to a village. A child belongs to the family. And so we have caregivers that raise our children in all the different contexts where we work. And through play, particularly engaging with our parents in a busy world as it is today, when our parents are trying to make ends meet, building a bond of trust and particularly conversations with our children becomes very important for their own development. We have seen children and teachers excited together about exploring ideas. When we have the Legos, we'll be seeing the Lego Foundation do their thing later. But we have seen the excitement with teachers, we've seen the excitement with children, we have seen the ideation, we have seen solutions to complex mathematical problems being made simple through learning, through play. And thank you to our permanent secretary of the Ministry of Education and Sports. You have indicated that there are guidelines underway, as well as a review of our curriculum to ensure that learning through play is institutionalized. We appreciate that support. We appreciate that support, Your Excellency, Mama Janet. We also see community leaders telling stories on the importance of play. Our communities are coming together, building social cohesion, which we find to be very important. I also note, Your Excellency, that this is the most, learning through play is important because we also see teachers struggling with mathematical equations, parents struggling. We see children having to learn, sometimes in the open, because we have been challenged sometimes with resources to make sure we have all our classroom blocks for all our children. But when we bring these children together, even in those crowded buildings, we see our children thrive. And at this point, I also want to just say thank you once again for being the minister of this very, very important ministry that shapes a better world for all of us. We acknowledge that while play is not a solution to everything, it provides a crucial foundation for overcoming and addressing challenges that our children face. And this is why today we are here to make a simple ask, Your Excellency, Mama Janet, and all key decision makers present here today, that together let's make play an integral part of our children's lives. And not only today, but every day. Your Excellency, very briefly, I know we're resting against time, but please allow me speak a little bit through the regional activations that took place. We have had a lot of support from our local governments. We have had support from your very own ministry in driving these activations. We've had a lot of support from our partners. The ministry itself has been pivotal to this process, civil society.
Okay, children, so I'll say let's, and you say play, right? Children, you shout, eh? So I'll say let's, you say play. Let's. All right, now adults.
Why do the kids sound louder than the adults?
That's a good question. Mama, we have Lohana Academy, Buganda Road Primary School, Nachivo Blue Primary School, Taiba International School, Clever J, Kitty Muslim Nursery, and Nachivo Settlement. And Mama, some of these schools will be entertaining you to carry Uganda's flag across the country and across the world. They featured on almost all the international festivals and events, and they continue to
invite Lego Foundation and allow me to invite Jan Christensen, who is going to take us through a very interesting
The adults here will want to show the real play experts, our young school children, they didn't forget that ability to how to properly play. So that is what we're going to do now. What I need to ask you to...
Let's get the instructions right.
If there is none under your chair, let me know. I can get you mine. Yeah, all right? Okay, let's just check. Bring you one. I'll bring you one. I see some had already cheated and picked them.
Oh, really? Do you have one?
Just find a chair that has nobody on it and go and check. Just go.
To use all the 6 bricks. Time is starting now, and I'll let you know how we're doing. 90 seconds.
98. Let's build a duck. Build a duck.
Quack, quack.
Build a duck.
Quack, quack.
Build a duck.
Quack, quack.
So-
you build your own duck.
Make sure you use all the blocks together.
I see someone building a dog instead, but it's okay.
Yeah.
She got one. But are we building our ducks? Please use all the bricks.
60 seconds.
One who has already built. It's okay. It's
I see
okay.
people
It's okay.
cheating exams
Everyone, build your duck. Which duck is that?
PS is done.
What is the PS building?
That is interesting. The PS is done.
Oh, where is that? Oh,
Dr. Munir is done.
Miss Phoebe is also done with her. I love
All
the
right.
ducks
No,
here.
I think they knew about this exercise. No wings. This would duck, yeah. But it's okay.
Let's see the duck.
Yes, there is the duck here.
We say duck quack quack,
Raise your
not
quack.
put your duck
Please
up.
show your trophies. Let's
Put
see
your
your
duck
ducks.
up.
Put them as high as you can.
I wish the cameraman could draw in closer.
Cameraman, please find.
I am seeing trains somewhere.
I have seen a car. This one
Instead
decided
of
they want
ducks.
a car instead of a duck.
All of them look like ducks. They may be ducks, but built in a totally different way. Morris, what do you see?
Everyone has a different way they built. The Honorable Minister built her duck, but I think this is a European duck.
Yeah. Well, ducks come in many shapes. Another example of that, just to remind us, if I was your math teacher,
Yes.
and I gave you the puzzle, say 2 + 2,
Yes.
and if based learning can be introduced in something that we may consider as rigid as maths or literacy. So,
Joining us, we are using the hashtag UGPlayDay. For those of you on social media, for those of you who are capturing to play any hoops anymore, because I have no Westline.
Tell Mama I beat you at the
I
hula
have no
hoop.
Westline anymore. and you beat me on that one. That one I agree.
Yes.
But Mama, there was also draft where I beat Mildred on draft with the children. But we had
Yeah.
some children who beat us
Yeah,
terribly.
sure.
Teaching them. They are busy training them rubbish. Mr. Sekabida, I'm sorry. Mama Gift, what you call rubbish is what I missed during my school days. I would have been far, but my parents did the same as you're doing right now and ended up taking me to a fake school, which doesn't involve itself in the play activities. Besides, with all the confidence our daughter is gaining, why do we have to sit on it? Hey, my children will not go back to that school. Wait. As long as I am the one paying that school fees, they'll go back to that school. Wamam Somesa, thank you for everything.
Mama, Gembuzi. You are welcome, Tata Gift. In fact, according to what I have seen, let me call the head teacher to explain clearly.
Musomesa, kwatayoka boda.
Thank you, madam.
I didn't want to say anything because I know that woman very well. Imagine her daughter is one of the best in play activities at Buganda Road. Imagine my daughter, Cholaba, is disabled, but she tries her best to play, and I keep on encouraging her. My children will not go for the play activities, I'm telling you. Obagwe tewazannya ng'okyali mu buto bwo ebyo tebinkwatako kyova olaba olina obwongo obwakona oyagala n'abaana baffe babe nabwo. What should I do about this? Should I stop the children from going to school? Nze nkole ntya? Shut up! Go back before I count up to 5. 1. Mama Gift, what wrong have you done to Tata Gifty?
Muchala Mangada, what has he told you?
No, he just came to our home and I heard him mentioning your name as he was telling my husband, Mama Gift yo.
Wamma Mangada labayo. Mbwaye ku Buganda Road, bagala simanya abana bazanye, bepene.
Otyo?
Omwana wange tajja kubizannyayo.
You mean you don't want your children to play?
Yes, of course, I don't like it. Instead of teaching them, they are busy training them rubbish.
You have disappointed me, Mama Gift. Don't you know that such activities are important? Our children learn many things through play activities.
Gifty, Chisache, Kenzira mwabala bambu no muri mukuzanya, mujja kunda.
Hey teacher, mbalengeredde eri nga mujja n'ensalawo mbagoberere nga tusanyusa okulaba ssebo.
No, kusanga. And learning. Let me give Tata Gift to explain more. Fellow parents, ladies and gentlemen,
Son.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Let me begin by thanking all of you who have put your minds to this initiative to guide our communities, to think about our children as a segment of our society, to have space in our nation to play and to include play in our communities even before early childhood education, which is the natural way to live and to go about education. It is good to see the Ministry of Education and Sports playing a major role in this initiative. Therefore, on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sports and on my own behalf, I applaud our PS, the Director, Basic and Secondary Education, the Commissioner, Basic Education Department and your team, UNICEF, Plan International, Lego Foundation, and all our partners for your efforts in organizing this launch of this National Play Day that ensures everyone understands the concept of play and its benefit to children. Government does recognize the value of play in supporting children's holistic development and lifelong learning, as well as the collective efforts required from all stakeholders, including parents, to ensure that every child is given the opportunity and space to play. We also acknowledge the fact that it is imperative that children are nurtured in a safe and conducive environment that allows them to become healthy, secure, confident, and empowered individuals with competencies for lifelong learning. Therefore, this National Play Day is vital in enabling us to introduce in a formal way for this country to remember that our children need to be children, they need to be allowed to play, both at home and in school, because we shouldn't think about play as if it only happens in school. Play should begin to happen at home and even before early childhood development. Because children begin to develop at home and play is part of that development. And then it happens in kindergartens as they are commonly known in this country. Therefore, today's function here is an introduction of a new way of life. Because Uganda spent many years in conflict and war, that people adapted a way of life that was simply survival at best. And in that environment, children lost their place in society. That is why you never see mothers taking their babies in baby push chairs out for a walk, or see them in the parks, in town, in groups watching children playing at weekends or public holidays. And yet, there was a time when this used to happen a lot, especially in Kampala and other centers of our districts. Therefore, I'd like to sincerely thank those of you who have initiated this beautiful idea, which I hope will be well thought out and made truly Ugandan and meaningful to our people. We shouldn't just take what others do without making this idea truly Ugandan. Let children make their own playthings, let them have these play places in our rural areas, in centers at the district level and places like that, so that it becomes our way of life, giving space to our children and allowing them to play normally, and so that mothers don't have to react like you just saw there, feeling that perhaps teachers are doing something with their children when they are made to stay at school to do extracurricular. We acknowledge, therefore, that this is a beginning, a new beginning. Our society is healing again, becoming normal again, trying to now make room for our children. Because there was that time when we had play places in our cities where children could go to play at weekends or public holidays and times like that. But with the war and conflict, all that stopped, and children became victims of our way of life, stuck at home and not allowed to have time to play. We therefore acknowledge this milestone achieved, such as and the development of the Center Management Committee Training Manual, which aims to equip the pre-primary management committees to monitor the daily activities in the pre-primary schools. On the government side, we will indeed provide the support to the training of center management committees to ensure that the schools adhere to the basic requirements and minimum standards, one of which is the provision of play materials. In this regard, we are also grateful to God for the several stakeholders who have contributed to ensuring that the Uganda children are supported where they are, right from their homes, communities, and in the pre-primary schools. This includes the private sector that supplements government's efforts in offering early child care and education to all children that are eligible to go out to kindergartens. But it's true that ideally, government should provide this facility nationwide so that all children, not just those who can afford to send their children to kindergartens, all children should have early childhood development centers in our rural areas, and we hope that it will happen when time is right. However, I'd like to note that encouraging learning through play should be everyone's responsibility. We must all ensure that the children in our circles of influence are cared for and supported to learn naturally through play to enable them reach their full potential. There is an African proverb, I'm sure that many of you may have heard. It says that it takes a village to raise a child. Let us all work together to dispel the misconception that play is trivial, that it is insignificant and counterproductive, that it is something children do to pass time. But even if they were doing it to pass time, nobody can deny the fact that in that play, as they pass time indeed, they also learn certain things. Isn't this what kindergartens do with sand dunes? Do you know, you see the kindergartens with sand dunes, with clay, with kites, with balloons? That's what children use to play, but as they play, they are also learning to live socially as human beings, to learn to work together in groups. They are learning something from that playing. What I know for a fact is that when I was growing up, it indeed took a village to bring up a child. It was common in our villages, meaning every adult in the village was responsible for every child in the neighborhood. But they would make sure that we play in our compounds, not on the road, and not in dangerous places. But we were allowed to play, and we were guided to play, and how to play beautifully together in groups. But we need to ensure now that children also are helped to balance their various roles in life. Therefore, even as we encourage learning through play, children should also be involved in their schoolwork, extracurricular activities, and other activities in life as they grow. When they learn through play, their life skills and values are enhanced, they become morally and spiritually upright, and emotionally stable and intelligent. Play shapes their cognitive and communication skills. It also helps children to become strong problem solvers and critical thinkers. Besides this, play contributes to human capital development right from the initial stages of a child's life, so that by that time they begin formal education, they have an idea of what they want to become in their adult life. Therefore, we should all join hands to support children right from the earliest stage in preparation for their lifelong learning. Parents must understand that they are the first teachers and primary educators of their children and endeavor to fulfill this role. That is why I was concerned that we invite representatives of mothers at many levels, like the Mothers Union from the Church of Uganda, like the mothers from the Catholic Secretariat, like the mothers from the Muslim Secretariat, who are direct representatives of many groups of mothers, so that they can take this message from here to educate women in rural areas, to allow and to ensure that children have places to play and they're encouraged to play. That's why we are so happy to have you amidst us, because we want you to take this message to all the women you represent at your different levels, so that we do this as a nation now, not just as the Ministry of Education, not just as kindergartens alone, but children everywhere to be allowed to play together. That's why today we have you invited here so you can take this message from here to as many mothers in the country as possible, because these messages indeed should go to mothers in the home primarily where the children come from before they go to school. In this regard, I am pleased to note that in preparation for the National Play Day celebrations, regional activities have been organized to demonstrate the existing successful interventions which have adapted play to improve children's learning and development. These have been ongoing, I'm told, throughout the country. During such days, I'm told that schools, ECD centers, and pre-primary schools open their classrooms for community leaders, government officials, parents, and private actors, so as to showcase how play can sustain children's learning and well-being. I therefore appeal to Ugandans everywhere to demonstrate their interest by actively participating in these activities. As a Ministry of Education and Sports, we have developed an early childhood care education policy, which will soon go out to Cabinet for approval, and when it is approved, it will indeed give direction and guidance in the implementation of early childhood care education services in the country. It will then prove the necessary guidelines for the effective management of learning through play and early childhood care education services in general. In conclusion, I acknowledge with appreciation the contribution of the education development partners for the tremendous support that you have given in the area of early childhood care and education across our country. And before I leave this podium, I just want to say to our partners, the facilities we are providing to refugee centers, we are providing some specific children play centers in refugee areas. But we need those to go to even the communities that host refugees. I had communicated that to some of the UNICEF representatives who came to discuss this idea with me. And I'm concerned that we shouldn't just provide a facility and a service to the refugees in our country alone. I'd like to see that facility given to all both the refugees and the host communities in those specific districts where refugees are living, so that all children have these facilities provided to them. We will be very, very grateful if that can be done. I am confident that with the help of government, our education development partners, and the private sector, we will all achieve the objectives of early childhood care and education in our country. And I know that our country is normalizing. When we make room for our children, indeed, our country will have become normal at last. It is now my singular honor to officially launch the National Play Day, and I thank all of you for being here, and God bless you all. Thank you.
First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports will do this, and witnessing this, where children can find safe places to play and be children.
And of course, Mama also emphasized the idea of now officially Mama is launching the first ever National Play Day, cognitive abilities of our children, social. She also talked about the spiritual aspect of the children continue to
All right.
play.
Very quickly, I want to request the following children. Mama, we have a gift for you from the children, and I want to invite the children to come. We have 2 children. They know themselves, but I want to invite them. I will mention your names and make your way. The children, please begin to move. Sechimpi Muzafari and Nalumange Jackie, please make your way to Mama. You will present the gift on behalf of the children to Mama. And immediately after that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be able to see what's happening on the screens. So I want to invite the children who are
activity right here after
Right.
Mama finally
May we
says bye
appreciate
to
the
us.
gift from the children. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Sechimpi Muzaffaru and Nalmaga Jackie are representing the children. We want to thank the children for thank you for your love and passion towards your children.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Yes.
And for always looking out to the children.
Yes.
Mama is not only advocating for play right now, she's been a strong advocate.
Abdul Malik Mwanga and Mbabude Elizabeth, finally Mugisa Charles. And we want to appreciate all of you from the Ministry of Education. May I now invite play?
I love that the kids are playing even in the picture, that
Yes.
Mama and the minister have to remind them
Yes.
to look at the camera.
cameraman should remind them where to look. Cameraman, let the
Exactly.
children know where to look.